The Fiery Void project was a dream given form. Its goal, to allow people to play Babylon 5 Wars online distantly and in their own time. It's a place to hang. A third space away from home for geeks of all kinds. Normies and nerds wrapped in 2,500,000 bits of spinning code, all alone on the web. It can be an odd place, but it's our best hope for fun. This is the story of a Babylon 5 Wars adaptation. The year is 2025. The name of the place is Fiery Void.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in episode 2. My name's Jeffrey. You heard me in episode 1, and here my fearless colleague is Fred from the other side of the pond.
No, I'm not.
You're not now. Oh, did you travel?
I thought. Let me start by derailing this episode from the get-go. So.
We're derailed already. This is our second attempt.
It's our 12th attempt. It feels like. No, I was there at episode 1. I'm here at episode 2, and somewhere along the line I'll skip one, but we'll see when and where. So it's only the two of us at the moment.
Yes, and I'm a little worried here, as I joked about in our previous attempt at recording here. If you count all of the podcasts that I've ever done, counting this one, this will be my second podcast. So, of course, they have put me in charge of running this particular episode. So, hopefully this goes well.
Well, I can't take all the credit and all the ego. My ego is enormous as we go, so it's time someone else has an inflation process going on.
Well, I guess that would fit the Centauri mentality then, right?
Yes.
And you can do the accent. I can't do the accent. That's my next problem.
It's the only accent I can do, actually. I mean, I cannot do a bester for the life of me, so... The Russian is difficult.
He does that quite well. I do agree. Well, we are going to kick off here. Today's podcast is episode 2, or otherwise known as Does Anyone Know How to Fly This Thing? And we're kicking off, and the first episode was kind of the introduction, talking about a little bit about Fiery Void, the browser-based version of the game of the tabletop Babylon 5 Wars. And it's just a full disclaimer, this is completely fan-based, not for profit, or anything like that. This is just kind of a bunch of fans that have gotten together because of the love of this board game and the series that it came from. I'm afraid if there's anything else you want to add for that too.
Oh, well, it all went to hell a long time ago, where we stopped putting metal little ships on tables. And so, it's a couple of guys from all across the globe, and a girl, even one girl. Hey, Lunara, hope you're doing well. Well, we are trying to keep this afloat by just having fun and making pew pew noises as we shoot laser beams at each other on a browser game. So yeah, no commercial gain whatsoever, just pure fun.
Exactly, and it's a hobby that we love, and obviously we're doing this out of a labor of love because it's been fun. And as you said, Fred, it's been 20 plus years since Agents of Gaming went out of business. So we're keeping the flame alive.
Shows our age.
There is unfortunately that too. That's no further comment.
I wonder who the youngest one in our community is. I mean, I think I'm the oldest one at 52, but I have no idea who the youngest one. I think it's Lunara. I think she's 20.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple of. I know we've had a couple others that have come through, roughly around that same age group. But in terms of the regulars, yeah, that's we definitely skew a little bit older. But again, let's face it, we how many people randomly find kind of an out of print board game and go, hey, let's go check that out?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But it's been fun. This is, as we talked about in episode 1, the community is a lot of fun. It's great to be able to banter about these things and just kind of talk about all the various stuff about the game, and it's an excuse to talk about the show too. And then we get wonderful fights like episode 1, 2, where you made a horrible comment about the look of the Star Fury, and so we had to we had to discuss that as well.
I still stand by it. I really do. I mean, when you put all the fighters next to each other, I mean, even the Narn Frazi is better looking than this. No, let's not get out. No, because we're fighting over it for years to come. So it's ugly. I've proven that. Not by winning, but I've proven that. There.
Not by winning. Yeah. So see, this is what you get to look forward to. Come join us over at Discord, and you can hear all of this all of the time.
Man, we do talk some crap.
Yeah. It's again, it's a labor of love, and it's a fun group. Fred, it's really exciting because you sit here and you think about the people that you regularly communicate with, and it's like, I have my friends that I've known since middle school that we get in touch, and we'll email and text each other on a regular basis, and I literally put the people that I'm talking with on Discord with Fiery Void. I mean, they're pretty much almost at the same level there, because I'm talking with you guys on a regular basis, and I mean, we share our life stories, and I mean, when we've had people who have needed some support, the communities come together, and I mean, again, obviously it's tough and when we're all scattered across the globe and things like that, but we definitely are all pulling for each other and things like that. So
yeah, it's strange that I mean, there are age differences and cultural differences and language barriers, but
oh my goodness,
at the end we're still fighting each other in the most friendly way possible for years on end, and actually becoming friends despite all the barriers and stuff we come across. So yeah.
You can definitely tell this is we're recording this around Christmas now, because we have the spirit of Christmas is in our minds here. It's
Hey, I even look like Santa, so I mean, it's not far off.
I love it. Well, what we were going to do with this, and so we'll actually jump ahead here, and we'll stop reminiscing. We'll get you into what we want to talk about today. I think an important part about getting into playing Fiery Void and things like that is, yes, you eventually need to kind of learn the rules of the game and the different factions and stuff like that. And we'll talk about that probably in future episodes, things like that. But you really just need the opportunity to know, how on earth do I even start this? How do I get into a game? What are the basics in a game? And that's why we kind of decided to focus episode 2 in this direction. And you can see here that we have the login screen. Well, not the login screen, but the front page for the for the Fiery Void browser here. And the idea is, Fred and I are going to walk you through the process. How do you set up a game? What's on the screen here? Things like that. And then we have a match that we set up and that we played through previously, and we'll talk about that. The goal here is not really to dive deeply into the tactics or I mean, why would you take this faction versus that faction, or why would you take a Hyperion versus a Primus cruiser and things like that. That's not the goal here today. Today's goal is to focus more on just how do you get a game set up, what's going on, and what are the basics. And Fred, anything else on your end that you want to throw in there?
Well, the game should run on any browser, but we have noticed in the past that there are some browsers that have an easier time working on Fiery Void than others. We had some people in a while ago that were using the Firefox browser, and they had some issues. I'm using Opera. Opera works like a charm. A lot of people are using Chrome. Chrome works expertly as well. So normally every browser should be able to do it. If it's not, well, hop on Discord, ask us what's going on. We'll give you an answer. Or maybe, check out another browser and see how it goes. It's also possible to play it on your Android phone. And some of our members only play on Android phone, and they are doing an equal good job of piloting the planes, the ships than we are. Almost. Hey, Abe. It's possible to play on Android, but the better way is when you're having a big, large screen in front of your face and playing on that.
That's a really good point. Oh no, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I was just. It's my. I don't like to play on an Android phone. It's too small, and I have old man fingers, and I'm grasping the machine like I'm an old man, and it's like it doesn't suit me. So, nah.
I've found myself, I can definitely use it on Android, but I typically do it like if I'm doing movement and things like that, the basic stuff. But if it comes down to it, trying to do my firing or trying to set up like my electronic warfare and things like that, that gets a lot more frustrating. So I like to be on my PC when I do stuff like that. But I mean, you can do the whole thing, as you said. But so yeah.
Well, starting a game or creating a game is a lot easier on your PC. So let's get into that.
All right, let's do it, and keep me on track here. So, as we mentioned, the screen that you're seeing through here on the recording, this is once you log into Fiery Void online, this is the page that you're going to see. And what's nice about this is, I mean, it's kind of no frills. You can see in the background, we've got a little Christmas theme. There's Santa in the background. He's flying something out there. And what's nice about this is it's pretty no frills, so you don't have to worry too much about it. And a lot of the information on the screen is just that. It's information. It's not something that you need to, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff on the page. What do I need to do with all this? Pretty much your standard stuff. We're just welcome you to Fiery Void. It's this free-to-play adaptation. You can go here with some fun links. There's like the starter guide. And you can click on that. You can see the full table of contents. You can join the game. So everything that we're talking about here, you can see kind of written in text previously, which is useful. And let me close that screen here real quick. So there, some other rules and information. You can talk about the various factions. So, okay, here are all the various factions you can look at. And here's one. You see them kind of in the background of the League of Nine Worlds, the Lort. And they have no very specific rules or technologies, but it's worth noting that the ships are often unusually asymmetric. So again, you get little details, and if there's special rules for any of the factions, they will be listed in there.
Man, the double L really bugs me. I mean, I don't know why, but I always think there's a spelling mistake with the Lord.
It's the Lort.
The Lord.
And another, you're derailing me already here. Doug's not going to be happy. We're making fun of the Lord, and we also have. Good Lord! Oh no! Sorry, everyone. We like to make bad puns, and so unfortunately, everyone's going to suffer through this.
We're dads. We're supposed to. I mean,
that's our job, right? It's. Another thing that you'll hear talk about, and we can show this in the setup as well, is tiers. This is entirely the community has developed this. So this is not from the board game itself, but this is basically saying, hey, we've kind of divided the various factions into 3 tiers, and you can kind of see high competitiveness, medium, low competitiveness. And really, the high competitiveness teams or factions, this is like the big ones that you see from the show, the Earth Alliance, the Narn, the Centauri, Minbari, things like that. Typically, these are factions that are either very high-tech or they're very forgiving when you fly them. And we'll talk about that as we go forward in the future as well. But that's one way to kind of break that down. And let's see, I can close that tab as well. And again, Fred, I'm trying to not make this very dry here, but you can see the rest of it here with other rules, things, updates. Merry Christmas, everyone. Things like that.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. It's a startup screen. I mean,
there you go. So let's get into it then. The rest of it, as you can see, you're looking at my screen right now. On the left-hand side, these are all the games I'm playing at the moment. They're all lit up blue, so that indicates that it's waiting for me to make a move, and that brings up the blue. It's like, oh yes, got to get that hit of seeing a blue box. Like, this is great. The nice thing about this is, we mentioned this in episode 1, but you don't need to do this. You don't need to pick a time with your opponent and sit down and play all at the same time. And that's really useful. I mean, Fred, you were going to mention something there.
No, it's I hear that, or I read that a lot, that new people say, hey, when do you have time to a game? because I can't. I have to go to work, or I have my kids coming on, and we usually say like, well, you don't have to be on. I mean, for the first game or second game, it's advisable that you have someone to guide you through the paces. True. But it doesn't need to be. Really the glory about this game is that a simple game can be played over weeks. If you're so inclined to. I mean, you can do a move, your opponent can do a move tomorrow, you can do a move the day after. Usually I like to play a little bit faster than that, because if it tends to drag along for weeks and months, you kind of forget what you're doing in that game. But the I cannot pronounce that. Asynchronal?
Asynchronous.
Asynchronous. The asynchronous nature of this game is amazing because you can really play it at your own leisure, at your own time. That's the great part.
I'm impressed you only start forgetting things after weeks and months. I'm generally on hours and days.
Well,
I've run into my own.
Well, I'm bullshitting you because I forget after a day, but I'm pretending I don't. So I play completely by the seat of my pants anyway. So you know what you're doing. No, I'm just lucky. I mean, I've been lucky for 10, 12 years on this thing. I have no skill whatsoever.
And to put it in perspective, I've been playing this since the first edition came out in 1997. Oh no, and
yeah.
I still run into my own units that are enormous units. You accidentally automatically ram them. So we've done it all.
Yeah, the most you can make a top 5 of most stupid mistakes you can make. Like we're getting that in a future episode. I get the mistakes we made, but
yes.
Sorry. Go on, Geoff.
And Fred, I think to drive home the point about the asynchronous play, you and I are separated by what, about 7 to 8 hours?
Yeah,
we're on opposite sides of the Atlantic, and we play matches on a regular basis. And granted, they go a little bit slower than if I'm playing someone on my side in my same time zone. But no, we play matches on a regular basis, even in spite of that time difference.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And then you can see here, kind of in this center screen here is join games. These are all the games that people are setting up. So this is a fun way to do it. If you want to just do a match, you can set up a match and people will join in. You don't even need to go to Discord and announce it, but it helps to bring people in. At the same time, too, if I click on recent games, and this is really exciting. We have, that's about 20 some odd games active right now. You can go in and we can look at anyone's active games real quick. Let's see here. Let's see what's is there a fun one? Who wants to shoot? See, and there you go. You can look at various stuff here. So let me back up here. But okay.
Do you do that a lot, by the way? Check out other people's games?
From time to time I do. It's fun to kind of go in. You kind of look at the recent games. Sometimes if I see something, you've got funny names here, like younger races beat up on the old flatworms.
That's Tom.
That one.
That has to be Tom, really.
Exactly, and I think Tyrell, he's also pretty good at with humorous names. So I'll check in. Sometimes it's fun to see how other people are playing and things like that.
Well, at the moment we're playing a team fleet battle series where we play in small teams and battle each other. The teams battle each other, and I'm checking out the other team. I'm seeing what do they fly, how do they fly it, and how can I beat them the next time. So I must admit I'm doing that for a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that yeah, it's like, what are they doing over there? Okay, so yes, these are all kind of fun things to go into. But as we said, let's go looking at creating a game. And again, we're trying to make this somewhat interesting here, so hopefully we're not boring everyone to complete tears. Let's see here. So we can jump in and we hit click on create game, and you get to pretty much a no frills screen here and everything like that. And again, a lot of this is designed to kind of move you quickly through the process so you can get to the fun part of firing lasers at your opponent. We can do a number of things here. So create the name. It will always default to game of whatever your username is. So we'll just go, we'll give it a nice name. podcast.
Innovative. Damn, your creativity has no bounds, sir.
Yes, it's like I have no idea what I'm doing here. We can also, what a fun thing is, you can see on the various matches we can do different backgrounds. Right now it's a default black, but you can put star formations in the back. Let's see, you can put there's a nice orange planet in the background. And then Fred, here's our favorite. If you don't want anyone to play against you, go cloud red space. And that one's just painful.
I wonder if anyone takes that one. I mean, it would be so nice to have data on which background is used the most or the least. I think the red one, I think people will go in seizure or in shock when they play on that one. Or
it's a beautiful image. Let me get that straight. It's a beautiful image. It does not work as a background.
Nope.
But okay. So we can scroll down there. So we're kind of belaboring the point here. A scenario description. Again, you can customize this a lot, and that's the glory of the Fiery Void and the original tabletop game is you can set it up however you like. But the nice thing is it's been set up to do a couple of basics for you. The main thing is the fleet requirements. Most people use the option pass the fleet checker. What does that mean? That is essentially stating that the original Babylon 5 Wars tabletop game had a set of tournament rules. And those tournament rules set up guidelines for you needed to have a ship that was jump capable. So a ship that could go from hyperspace to real space. You had to have a ship that was a capital ship, meaning one of the largest in the game. And then you could only have so many of the same type of ship in your fleet. That's all the fleet checker is doing. It's an extension of those tournament rules. The great thing about this is you can completely ignore it if you want to. It's simply there to kind of help create more balanced fleets, because you can do some things that if you don't pass the fleet checker, you can do some really off-the-wall, unbalanced formations and things like that. It's one of those things. If you don't want to use the fleet checker, no problem. Just make sure your opponent knows that or state it in the description, and everything's cool. Nobody cares. If they see that, they're great. Fred, I think I was talking over you.
No. A small question. I mean, you cannot take. You have rare and uncommon ships, and you cannot take a combination of those. You cannot take 5 rares or 2 or 4 uncommons or what have you. But can you take, for instance, 5 demos ships? Is that possible? Will the fleet checker give you a warning?
Yes, the fleet checker will give you a warning. And if you take a very small match, the number of similar units you can take in a game shrinks, because that tournament rule is on a sliding scale. So again, that was developed for the browser here. So if you do a very large match, then you can take more of the same ship type and things like that. So yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. I never checked that.
Yeah, it does scale up and down, and we'll show it at the bottom here when we kind of set up the fleet. At the same time, we talked about the tiers previously. So tier 1, tier 2. Again, you're free to do whatever you want. The game will never prevent you from starting a match. This is just simply helping your opponent know what you're going for. If you want to do the weak tier 3 versus agents, have at it. Just make sure your opponent knows that. So we'll set it up for tier 1. That's going to be our match. And then sometimes people are not in the mood to fly against or with certain factions. So if you want to forbid someone, Narn. Our resident Centauri is banning the Narn, which is on point for the Centauri. I love it. We can't have Narn. Oh no! If you want to do custom factions, we can allow them or not allow them. For this test match, we're not going to allow custom factions. We don't want to bring them in just now. Enhancements. These are where you can improve your sensors, your engines, and things like that. For our match here, we're not going to allow them because we just want the vanilla units. And then you get to the funny part about when you're dealing with space battles on a game, is the thought of a boundary, a map boundary. And here, do we say if a unit moves off the map, is it automatically destroyed, or is it destroyed if it can't get back into the map? This is kind of a balance issue. Again, you talk about space. Space is practically infinite. Why do we have any boundaries in space whatsoever? But again, it does come down into a balance factor to make sure the match moves, because otherwise you could wind up doing these weird things where you're 100 hexes apart and then nothing ever happens in the game.
I'm so used to playing with boundaries. I play with nothing but boundaries. But I remember at an earlier time where I was flying against Minbari, and I had a case of retrograding Minbari where they actually were facing towards me but flying backwards and firing lasers. So I could never reach up to them. They had superior range, and it was a loss from turn one. So having boundaries, well, gives you a box where you sooner or later you're going to corner someone in a corner and they cannot flee anymore. So having no boundaries is a little more realistic because you're flying. Tends to not give a great gaming experience.
Exactly, and that's what it really comes down to, is that for the most part, is Babylon 5, is it quote-unquote realistic? Is it like if you're like true physics and things like that? Yeah, it tries to do that with the movement and things like that. But again, at the end of the day, it's more of it's a fun game that's relatively easy to play, and you have to suspend your sense of reality a little bit. But I mean, we're playing a game here. We're playing a game about space and aliens, things like that. So I think if you are still with us at that point, I think everything's going to be okay. We also, again, other various rules, called shots. That's a very specific thing where you're trying to actually target not just your opponent, but your opponent's like thrusters, things like that. We'll pass down that right now. And then let's see here. For our little test match here, we'll be the last unit left on the map. Okay, great. And then you can add any other descriptions in here. Star Furies are cool. Yeah. And then from there, we can set map boundaries. I mean, if you don't want a map boundary, you can just flat out get rid of it. And you can see, this is a great update. Down below here, you can start seeing how the map setup will change as we change features up here. So that's a great feature that's been added in over time. But we're going to put our map boundary back in. We can change our map size. So this is kind of a normal, this would be a normal tournament map. We can make it smaller. I think, Fred, you created this one called the knife fight. So it's kind of this very short, immediate action map.
It's because I have ADHD, and I was getting bored by starting at the other side of the map. So I thought, like, hey, let's give it a little small box where we are at each other's throat in a couple of minutes. So to get into the heat of battle at the get-go. So I thought, yeah, knife fight. Let's do knife fights, and I think Doug picked that up and made a knife fight map. So I'm grateful for that one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun way to kind of get into the moment quickly. So we're going to choose that for this demonstration. And I know we're kind of walking through this fairly slowly here, but we want to make sure that we're hitting the main points. Simultaneous movement. What does that mean? Your two options are using simultaneous movement or how the game was originally designed called standard movement. And long story short, what is standard movement? It meant that every unit on the board moved by itself. So you would roll dice called initiative and order all of the units on the map, ships, fighters, bases, you name it. Everything moved individually. Which is great if you're face-to-face, and also good for a smaller battle, because it gives a little bit of more realism there and things like that. So small, nimble units move later, slower, more ponderous units move earlier. However, if you want to have a large matchup, which you can do now in Fiery Void, trying to do it on tabletop, it wasn't possible because you've got too large of a battle. It just took too long to do and to set up and to manage everything. But that's a nice thing. In Fiery Void, all that paperwork is being done for you. But you want to work with, you probably don't want to try moving each individual unit by itself. If Fred and I were to try to do that, it would literally take us weeks to do a large scale matchup because of the time difference between the two of us. So essentially, simultaneous movement says, okay, we're going to kind of cluster units that have similar initiative into a group. And so they all move at the same time. The nice thing is that, again, because this is all being done in the browser, you still have a little bit of that fog of war. Nobody sees anything until that entire group has moved. And that's when you start seeing those blue boxes show up. And Fred, anything else there, or am I just kind of beating this point to death here?
A little edification, of course. You have to guess when you play with initiative groups, and normally your captain, being the slow, ponderous husks they will go first. So they all go at speed 1 or speed 2. But if your opponent's capital also goes at speed 1, there's some guessing work here. There's some, which way will he turn? What will he do? So I can anticipate. And then it's always great to see if your guess worked out or didn't work out. So the little game of bluffing, I really like that. I mean, it's great to go one after the other so you can really put your strategy to best use. But the guessing game is more enjoyable, for me at least.
It's a fun part. You're definitely trying to read what's going on, read the situation. Let's see here. We're not going to do this for this match, but you can add terrain. This is probably, a year old now? A recent advancement in Fiery Void here. Really add some nice new features. You can add moons, you can add asteroids, things like that. And then you can set up another scenario rule, use desperate scenario rules. So essentially this is, you're in the final heroic last stand. I mean, ships can ram each other and things like that, because normally you cannot ram in the basic rules. So obviously we're not going to worry about that today. And then we just drop right into our match. So we have Geoff on team 1, we have Fred on team 2. And you can do any number of things. You can play around with the deployment zone. So if you see me, look to the bottom here where I'm circling. And if I change this from -12 to, let's call it 20, suddenly see my deployment zone moved all the way over behind Fred. So we'll put that back to -12. We can change the size of the deployment zone. So let's make it 5 by 5. So now I'm deploying this tiny little box here. And what was that? That was like 7 by 24. There you go. So any number of things here. You can also adjust it so that your units jump in at a later point. So turn 2, 3, 4. Again, for this purpose, we're not going to worry about that too much. Fred and I also, we're not going to worry about the points at the moment because we have a specific one-on-one match that we're going to do. But here, this is where you would adjust your points. So 3,500 points or 3,500. Why is that the default? That is historically the number of points that was used in a Babylon 5 Wars tabletop tournament match. So again, if you want to use that, fantastic. If you don't want to use it, throw it out the window and use whatever points you want. So have at it.
The last 10 years, I guess we all did hundreds and hundreds of games, and with all the parameters you can use and change, there's still not an end to all the different missions you can think of. I mean, people at this moment are going like, I like to do that kind of mission with so many moons and that asteroids, and have people deploy on turn 5 and reinforcements. And there's no end to your creativity to actually make new games. Not only one-on-one, but with 2 versus 2 versus 3, 5, 10 versus 10. It's all possible. So there's an unlimited amount of numbers you can do.
And exactly, and here, I'm going to hit create game here at this point. And the next thing that comes up is all the various factions that you can take. And again, we're not going to go into all of that right now, but just amongst the official units from Babylon 5 Wars, I mean, there's dozens of factions you can take. Which adds a lot of dimension, because you can fly the same match 10 different times, but with entirely different factions each time. And that's kind of the joy of the game here. So when you hit that create match, you wind up with, it kind of reiterates everything that you have set up. It says who are the players, things like that. And then you have fun little features about factions, things like that. Now, again, you're looking at this screen here, you're going, oh man, that's a lot of choices to think about. Well, we don't have to worry about too much. Again, there's nothing you need to really think too hard about in this, because you can choose, let's get rid of others. We don't want to use ancients. We weren't doing tier 3. We're not doing tier 2. So that quickly narrows things down. And all this is doing is showing the units that are available, or the factions that are available. So today I'm going to be flying the Earth Alliance, and I'm going to take the classic show era Hyperion cruiser. So what's nice is you can hit show and you can see all the details about the ship. Again, we'll talk about this. Everything in red represents a weapon. Blue represents support systems. Green represents the structure. It also carries 6 fighters. So let's go ahead and we'll add the cruiser. And again, we can do various things, like we can call it Geoff's cruiser. There's options that we can choose. We're not going to take any options right now. And we're going to take the most beautiful fighter in the game. We'll take the Aurora here.
No. I can contain myself when I want to. I just don't want to a lot.
And then you'll see here we have force that's 1,047 points. We originally had something upwards of 3,500 points. We're not worrying about that right now. Fred's picking Force 2, but it also tells you how many points you have left. But I think this is a good point. Fred, if you want to tell us about the saved fleets here.
Yeah, there are staples. I mean, we made some starter fleets. We had a meeting, a committee, a subcommittee, and various subcommittees to vote on what would be the best starter fleet possible. And we picked some ships and put that for your convenience into a starter fleet little box, so you can actually just use a starter fleet, and that saves you the time for trying to figure out what is good. I don't know this game. I don't know the ships. Maybe you do. Maybe you know some ships of the series, but not all of them. So we took the hard work for you and made starter sets that are really good to play and are a really a good representation of the great things about that type of fleet, type of race.
Exactly. And so that's a nice way to just kind of kick things off. Now, we still do recommend kind of what Fred and I are going to do here, just kind of one unit, just to kind of get a feel for everything. But then once you've picked your units, you can, if you have a fleet that you like, you can hit save. So that can be a fleet that you can use later in the future. Here's the fleet checker, and I'll kind of scroll over here. And you'll see that's going to run down. It's checking all the tournament rules against this. Again, you are under no restrictions to use that, to use that or not use that. The only thing I would recommend, or both of us would recommend, is that you just let your opponent know. If you want to use the fleet checker, fantastic. If you don't want to use the fleet checker, just let your opponent know.
Yeah.
But we're seeing. Oh yes, sorry.
No.
I went too fast.
How am I going to put this? Some races and fleets are. Everyone has their favorites. I mean, when you start playing this game, you choose a fleet or a certain race, and you go like, "Oh, this is my jam. This is great. This is me. I love this. I love this kind of ship." And then you put it on a board, and you notice that your opponent says like, you took that, or I really don't want to play that. If you, for instance, I'm not going to go into specifics, but if you take the Narn, for instance, and you put a DAG car on the table, which is a small itty-bitty ship, which has 6 E-mines and 6 torpedoes, and it's, I think if you would ask around, probably the most hated ship in the game. Why? Well, it's good. It's so good that it actually shouldn't be on a table. A lot of people think that way, and can you use it? Is it legal? Sure, it's legal, but, well, if you put it in a fleet and you may be squeezing 2, you will notice that your opponent says, like, is it okay if we don't play this because it's not going to be very enjoyable for me? So, like we said before, if you want to play something communicate with your opponent, so you're going into the battle with as much as enjoyment as you possibly can.
And that's a great point. And the fun thing too is if you absolutely want to take like the dad car, or take 3 of them if you want to. You know, the nice thing about the community is if you just let someone know, hey, I'd like to do something crazy, you're gonna get someone who wants to fly it, fly against it and with it.
Yeah.
It's like we're all nuts here.
I mean, what was flown a while ago? 20 or 30 Dakars against 20 or 30 White Stars. I mean, it was insane, but hey, people had fun with it. But they communicated up front and well, that's what they chose. So yeah, legal does not always mean fun. That's what I want to say.
That's a great point. Just kind of make sure everyone knows what you're going for and have at it. Because again, it's a game. Enjoy, and that's the fun part about it too. It's flexible. So we've have all of our green check marks. Everything's good. And oops, I can go back up. I'm going to click on ready. Do you want to commit your fleet? Yes. Okay. So we're going to do that. Now, Fred and I previously recorded a match. So you're going to see me flip over here. There's going to be, and so it's going to look a little bit different, like resume game, things like that, because you're not seeing us actually apply things. And so, Fred, I'm wondering, as we do that, we'll have to maybe articulate a little bit more what we're doing because we can't see the movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just realized that might be a problem.
Now, it's possible that we'll just, I mean, we're going into 40, 45 minutes already. People tend to shut down after an hour of 2 old geeks talking crap about a game. So I'm sure that we will do an episode on how to maneuver well, or how do I get the best of my green buttons off my boat. I mean, we'll do it in the past. In the future we'll just show people a good match. Well, the match we played is not maybe a good one, but we'll show people a match and we'll do it the next time.
Okay, that sounds good. And what you can see here is there's going to be a deployment phase, which we're not showing, where basically you just say, okay, I'm going to put my 2 ships here and things like that. And what's kind of fun here at this point, you can see we're seeing this from my perspective. So if I scroll out, the green units, these represent my units. These are Geoff's units here. Red represents enemy units. This is Fred's Centauri. And if you had any allies, they would show up in blue. But that's also why we don't like the red background, because these colors don't show up very well. But what's really nice, I'll scroll into my own units. You can see we have the Hyperion cruiser. And what's nice is, let me move over to the side here. Every time you move over on a unit, you can see these kind of fields show up, showing the firing arcs of the various systems. And also, if I click on a thruster, you can see which direction the thruster operates in. You can see, too, since we're doing a review of a match, you can see the damage that I took on turn 1. And at the same time, we can click on my fighters. You can see how they went and everything like that, too. Let's see here. The last thing that you'll see, I have 3 EW, or electronic warfare, dedicated to defensive EW. I'm not targeting any fighters with my close combat EW. And then I have 3 EW linked to on Fred's Centauri Primus. So if I want to look at my EW allocation, you can see we're both targeting each other. So we have that kind of orangish line. We can do the same thing. We go over to Fred. We can see where his battle lasers, the arcs from those, his twin arrays, or as I accidentally called them a few days ago, the twin aways. That was well, I'm never going to live that one down. So what's fun here? Essentially, you have to lock onto your opponent, and now we're going to go into the movement phase. We're just going to click on this, and normally we're not going to do this for everything, but you can see us kind of moving forward. Fred is kind of screaming down the map because he wants to kind of come to grips with his target quickly here. Our fighters are moving into position, and then my fighters, as you can see, I'm sorry, Fred, you go for it.
It's funny that our EW lines are still on the map. That shouldn't be, but...
I know, it's like, wait, what's going on here? So you can see our movement through here. Now, it's not letting me kind of scroll around because we're still in the movement phase here. But now we're going to jump into the firing phase. So I'll just kind of continue with the playing here. My fighters, and now fighters firing at fighters are simultaneous. I'm going to turn off the sound here. We don't need all the sound through there.
Oh,
The battle lasers from the Centauri hit. I return fire with a couple of my particle beams and with a heavy laser as well. So we did. Yeah, that was a pretty good shot here. I only had a 65% chance. So what you see through here, I love how the EW lines are. There we go. You can see in the log through here everything that happened. You can see how my Star Furies are firing at the Sentries are firing at the Star Furies. You can see the percent chances. So Fred fired 2 battle lasers, and they each has 76% chance to hit. Both of them hit, so 2 of 2. And you see in orange here, this represents systems that were damaged and took some sort of critical to it. So if I kind of look on my vessel here, we see thruster, heavy laser, medium pulse cannon. So the thruster, laser, medium pulse cannon, they each have these little health bars, but if you can see, the health bars are also now kind of this reddish color to indicate that they have taken damage and have suffered a critical. And essentially the critical means that they're suffering, they have degraded capabilities. And unlike this heavy laser, which I'm circling here, that was completely destroyed. And if we look at Fred's units, Fred's cruiser, he took some damage as well. We took off the 2 lighter guns, but beyond that, he's in relatively good shape here.
I did a match against someone, a guy who was starting out, and he flew at me. I think he boosted his speed. His capitals went speed 10 or speed 11. So I said, like, hey, it might not be the wisest thing to accelerate to speed 10 or 11. He said, why? I need to get as fast, as close to you as I can possibly can. I said, well, yeah, let me show you this. So I zapped off his front thrusters. He couldn't decelerate anymore, so he flew right by and flew out of the box. So there isn't one... firing at each other and doing damage is not... Maybe it's how you win the game, but not how you win the game, if that makes sense. How you allocate your EW, that's very important. How you maneuver, how you position. If you show a new face to the enemy and take some damage on that, if you bluff, if you don't bluff, all those little decisions decide if you win or lose. It's not always the for instance, it's possible that you do everything right, and then you have your enemy center-lined and you fire with everything you have and you miss everything. RNG is a bitch. It's always like, it is. I mean, the amounts of time I said, like, oh, I should have killed them, but I didn't, or he survived by a threat, and that really took the match. So it's a whole game of 1,000 little parameters working on each other, and that gives you a certain outcome. So don't be discouraged. It's not about how much damage you do. It's a whole bowl of other things that actually decide if you win or lose.
You know, that's a good point. I like the speed thing that you brought up, because I came into the game many years ago, coming from playing Starfleet Battles. And in that game, one of the comments is that speed is life in that game. You have to be moving fast. And so the very first time I played Babylon 5 Wars, so this was first edition, everything like that, I didn't fully understand how things worked. And so I took, you'll like this, Fred, I took Centauri Vorchans, and I had them moving at speed 22.
Whoa.
As my initial starting speed.
That's ludicrous speed.
And they've gone plaid. And it was hysterical because my opponent didn't think anything of it either. He chose like speed 10 or something like that. And he was like an Omega, so that was also comically fast. And the two of us, we moved our match, and by turn 2, the game was over because we both flown right on by each other. We went, I think we did this wrong.
I think the fastest I ever did a fighter was speed 27, I think. But you turn to you live and learn. I mean, how fast do you need to go? Well, as fast as you actually need to go. best is that you figure out where am I going to be next turn or the turn after that. That you have a little plan in your head, and normally at least I don't follow the plan. I think like in turn 4 I'm going to be there. No, I'm going to be somewhere else because I'm chaotic. But it helps that you tend to think ahead a little bit and see that you have contingency and that you know when if this happens, well, I'll be safe. I can decelerate to speed 2 and still do a turn because your thrusters are the most important thing on your ship. You can have 1,000 weapons if they cannot get in arc, they're useless. So maneuverability is the most important thing, I believe.
Yeah, and that goes into tactics and things like that. Sometimes it's worth taking an initiative penalty, so you move sooner rather than later to go slower to make sure you can make those turns or bring a weapon to arc, things like that.
Expert tactics there.
Yes, we'll talk about that later. Talking about speed again, the fastest I've ever had a ship going that wasn't a mistake. We were playing a campaign battle, and I had a Earth Alliance Oracle scout cruiser. So again, Earth Alliance is very ponderous, very slow. By the end of that battle, he was moving speed 21. Because it was a very long map. It had to get from one end of the map to the other end of the map. It had to scan certain targets. And so I said, you know what? This thing, we're just going to keep accelerating. We don't need to be fighting everything. And so by the end of it, that ship was screaming at speed 21, and it achieved all objectives and got off the map.
I mean, it's an ugly anecdote, but I used to when I was still playing the tabletop version of this game. There were these books you had, Ships of the Fleet, and I had the 2 Ships of the Fleet books on my toilet. So sorry listeners, but I need to say this. Every time I went to the toilet, I examined the Ships of the Fleet books. So every day I was examining all these ships, like what's their front thrust, what's their back thrust, how much armor do they have, what's their sensor level. And after a while, if you have a favorite race, you really know your ships by heart. You can just take a blank paper and write all the different point costs and all the different thruster costs on a piece of paper because you know them by heart. And then that's the point where you, 1, go batshit crazy, 2, and really know your ships. And if you can do that for your ships and all of the ships of your opponent, then you have a beneficial, you're 2 steps ahead of the competition, I would say.
And that's a good point. And it's like the game Jenga. I mean, minutes to learn, a lifetime to master. Yeah. That's a lot of how Fiery Void operates. Is that it will take time to learn the nuance and things like that. But as you,
I also have a Jenga tower at my toilet, by the way.
No, I don't think we need to know that one. But no, and that's the fun. Again, I like to harp on our community and things like that. If you're new, you want to learn to play the game, drop us a line in Discord, join us over on Discord, or say something in the messaging here and say, hey, I'm new. I'd love to practice some matches, things like that. And the community will do it. You're going to have it's a great group where if you're saying, hey, I'm a new player, I'm trying to learn the ropes and understand how this works, you may have to wait a little bit depending on your time zone and stuff like that, but you're going to get someone who's like, oh yeah, hey, I'll jump right in. And they're not going to sit here and they're not going to come out here and bring out a power fleet and try to blow you to bits. As long as you state that, hey, this is a practice match, I'm trying to learn the game, you're going to get people who want to teach you the game and things like that. Because at the end of the day, we want to grow this community. We're having a lot of fun doing this, and you don't grow the community by bringing in new players and then just utterly blowing them to bits because you can.
Hey, Tom.
No. We'll edit that part out.
No, I won't.
Don't take... If you see the...
Well, no, he mentioned the fact that I'm actually here. I've been listening for a while, but I've just been in the background.
Okay. Well, welcome, Tom. Welcome. I love it. Well, with that, everyone, I think we will wrap things up here. I think this was a good stopping point, Fred, as you said, too, because we can talk about the match in a little bit more detail. But since we were kind of showing since it's in replay mode, we can't see all the little details. But this gets to show you the basics here. And I'll jump one more turn ahead. You can see how our two units begin kind of maneuvering around with each other. Fred's trying to move around. I'm trying to move around. And we'll do the firing in just a moment. You see, and again, you can see the order of the initiative. So my fighters had to avoid contact, but the sentries weren't going to have anything to do with it. They're going to chase me down.
No, I can't go in the butt.
I completely missed in my fire. That was wonderful. The sentries, a little bit more on target.
They were MVP. The sentries actually were the star of the game. So, listeners, at this point, you might call it. You can say, "Hey, Geoff will win, Fred will win." We already know the answer, so I was wondering if you would have the answer now, because it was a slap fight. I mean, my God,
it really was. It looked like at one point.
Extra votes to the numberless it works.
For the prize, and it was a very silly match. I think Fred and I both jumped into it like, oh, this would be kind of fun. We'll go a couple turns and then it'll be done and over with. And the next thing you know, this thing just dragged on. It turned into the pillow fight of the week because
I think at the end we had a couple of structure left. Maybe one weapon or two weapons. We were actually trying to hit each other with "No, you die! No, you die! No, you die!" It's what. It was, oh man.
It was, I mean, we got to the point it would have been more effective just to send our crews out in spaceships and shoot each other with handguns. I mean, it was that bad.
Hey, it was fun.
It was very fun. And so, everyone, I hope you enjoyed coming down memory lane with us here. We had a good time chatting about this. Probably a drier topic that we've done in the compared to like the first episode. But really, I think it's important to at least show how you get a match started and things like that. And I think going into the future, we'll start going into factions and tactics and probably the more interesting stuff. And that's when you start getting some crazy anecdotes from all of us. And I think that's enough from me. And Tom or Fred, anything you want to throw in here?
Well, yeah. I was on Facebook on the official Babylon 5 page, and they were having a discussion. A couple of guys were saying like, hey, I wonder who would win, an Omega versus two Vorchans, Centauri Vorchans. And I was automatically adding it up in my head, and I was like, the Vorchans have no chance against the Omega. I know because I've played Vorchans against the Omegas and vice versa for thousands of times. So I said like, well, what you can do is join me in Fiery Void, put an Omega on the table, put two Vorchans on the table, and duke it out. They didn't. We did that for them, and lo and behold, the Vorchans got their asses kicked. So it's possible that maybe 4 Vorchans can win against an Omega, or 2 demos. It's possible. But I noticed something peculiar because everyone at that page was going by the official show as their main source of information. So they only had the Vorchan on the screen, they only had the Omega on the screen, and that wasn't the same picture as we have here in Fiery Void. I mean, the creators, Agents of Gaming back in the day, they did their best to balance everything out, but it's still not the same as on the screen as in the series. So I'm going to repost this episode on the Babylon 5 page. Shout out to those people. It's a great community, so I hope they will not have a problem with me posting that. And I hope to have some of them try it out in-game, in space with us. So that's what I want to say.
I like it. Thank you. And Tom, you've joined us. You've been lurking here a little bit. Anything you want to say, or?
Oh, don't mind me. I've just been in Gray 17.
I like it. I like it. Well, that folks, I think that is a great way to end it. We're having fun goofing off this. We're getting the chance to chat about our favorite hobby.
We made it,
and we look forward to seeing you.
We actually made it.
We made it. No technical issues. We don't have to re-record this. I like it. And we will see you. We will get this posted, and then we're going to be talking about what we'll do for episode 3.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Pew pew, people.